Welcome to Backstabbers, the only podcast where we're not just sticking needles in your back, we're talking behind it too. All right, I just thought of who's going to be Alex's Guess This Celebrity. Should we do a young picture of him or a current picture?
Do a young one first.
Maybe this one. But let me make it where it won't say his name, although I don't know that it'll matter. Because then I'm going to tell you a story about a show. Alex, name that celebrity.
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. It's not a young picture, but it's a younger picture. I think you've even watched this show. Hold on. Let's see if this helps.
Couldn't tell you.
Nothing.
I don't even know.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, I've heard the name.
Did you not watch?
Did you say I've heard the name?
Yeah.
Did you not watch Landman?
Oh, I did. He's the guy on that?
He's the guy.
Oh my gosh, he's the guy.
Like the guy.
I just didn't know it was his name.
I think he was married to Angelina. They at least dated for a while.
Yeah, they did weird stuff. They wore each other's blood and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yes, they wore necklaces with each other's blood.
He looks a lot older.
That might have been
just as a landman. Sorry.
Was that
Do what?
I said he looks so much older than she is. Is he, or did he just look old?
I don't know that he's aged well, but he is probably a little older.
No, yeah.
Okay.
He's from Arkansas.
Yeah, he was definitely older.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Callie was at the Drover in Fort Worth and laying out at the pool, and she said, have I told you all this story?
No.
She said, hey, have y'all heard of a show called Landman? And we all were like, yes, we're obsessed. And she was like, well, they're getting ready to shoot some scenes here at the pool. Yeah.
No.
I swear.
Was she like...
She never saw the people because they had to leave to go to a Lakers game. They were down there for a Mavericks-Laker game. But they were like setting up scenes and shooting some scenes, and they had a bunch of drinks. She said they were taking pictures of drinks and cards. So be watching for a card game at a fancy ass hotel, and they may say the Drover, or they may change the name. I don't know. But then they got some free drinks when it was all over. They were like, well, are you just going to waste those?
Yeah. Hand them over.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
Yeah. I don't know. They're shooting season 2 right now, but I don't know when it's supposed to release.
What were we watching the other day? And I was like, Devin, do you recognize that girl? And it was Legally Blonde.
Oh, yeah.
The wife on there is the client that she's representing in Legally Blonde.
Yes. Allie Lauder.
Legally Blonde.
Oh.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I didn't know that her client was that lady.
She's the one that's like trying to... She works everybody's butts out, but she had liposuction.
She's the mom.
Want to tell.
Yes.
She's the mom. And she really looks the same. I was like, she looks pretty damn good.
She was also... I mean... Alex, have you ever seen... I think she looks better now than she did on Legally Blonde. Have you seen Varsity Blues?
Varsity Blues.
That's what she got known for.
Whipped cream bikini.
Okay.
Ask Johnny.
I'll give it to her. She looked just as good today.
Yeah. But I told Callie, I was like, well, if they were shooting at the Drover, which is definitely like a fancy bougie pool scene, I bet it was Allie Lauder, the mom and the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And it's like the country
club. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
I do love that show, man.
The cards thing is throwing me off, though, because it could be like playing for control of the company or something with... I can't figure out, because I don't see the mom and the daughter playing cards, like playing poker at the pool. You know what I mean?
Right.
They might be doing something crazy with all those old people again.
Maybe.
I loved that.
I do love that. I agree.
That is hilarious.
That's fantastic. I really thought somebody was going to be dead on the bus when they got back from the strip club. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, Devin, somebody's going to be dead on that bus. But they died happy.
Yeah, they're not complaining. Alex and I were bitching earlier this week about we feel like the parents who the kids are going to the different parent to try to get a different answer. So in particular, with PAT, and I had told someone it needed to go to the main side, and then they go to Alex and like, well, Lacey said this, but what do you think? Well, what's she supposed to say to that? Mm-mm. It's a lose-lose answer.
Yes. And it makes me, they definitely were wanting a different answer with the backing of this.
Because the surgeons are complaining and they don't want to be inconvenienced, but...
Yeah, I'm about to give all of them a crash course and be an inconvenience, because ain't none of ours inconvenienced ever. We cater to them. We're like, do you need a warm towelette for your rear? Like, no.
Yeah.
They're all fine. Not a one of them.
But, I think that's universal. Because the surgeons here are just as spoiled. And at the other place that Alex and I have done.
It is
full,
true.
across the board.
Well, I was, I'm supposed to work at the other place tomorrow, and against my better judgment, because I did not want to. But I am working at the orthopedic facility, and I was looking at the schedule, and I can always guess which room I'm going to be in. It's usually the rough one.
The shitty one.
So there is a shoulder guy, and they do LMAs for their shoulders there, which I will say their bed is much better than ours, and it's electric, and but still. Most of them I don't mind, but they also won't let me use a paralytic with an LMA. Like, that's a big no-no there, and all the things. So if you start having problems, you're just kind of screwed, for lack of a better word. And I was like, that's gonna be mine.
So what's the weight limit on the bed?
I believe it's 500 pounds.
Okay, so it'll hold a lot, even in the beach chair position.
Because like the bed that we were trialing, or the top part of the bed, he told me we were talking about it, and he was like, well, what bed do you like? And I was like, my other hospital, their bed, because it's an orthopedic facility and they do so many shoulders and all that stuff. Anyways, he was like, oh my gosh, y'all never get that as expensive. And I was like, yes, our OR manager told me that would never in a million years happen. But I was like, man, we've started doing so many shoulders, it's got to be justifiable. I mean, literally, because to use the bed that we trialed to put that big guy up, there were probably 8 or 9 people in there. And that was it's got a hydraulics, which does help push it up. But I mean, it's still, it was still very difficult. And I'm like, man, at this other facility, it literally is me and the nurse. Doesn't matter the size of the patient. You do this, and it goes, and their legs go down. You don't have to flip them up and put pads under them and all this other stuff. And I'm like, it's so much safer.
So this hospital has that, where I just push the button and it does it automatically, which is amazing for a small place. They've got some bougie stuff, but I don't like the way it straps their head in.
I do. I agree. I bet it's the same bed, because I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
And I've asked if there was another
option.
I love
all of this, but I hate this part.
And if you have somebody edentulous, it literally, like, I'll come up. I keep having to check it.
And I feel like I can't get it to, is yours the kind that you fold the sides in kind of, and then you strap here and you strap here? Yeah.
And this also has a tendency to.
It does.
Like,
by the end of the case,
they're edentulous. I know. And they're like, I'm like, what's holding there? Just saying a prayer. And most of the shoulder guys there are really good and don't tug and pull. But there's one, he
Always
is like
one.
ours, who's just, and I'm like,
well, their neck's been adjusted.
Yeah. So yesterday with that bed, my favorite thing is, like, our anesthesiologist came in to sign, and I was like, I need you to look at his head in this. And then our surgeon came in, and I was like, positioning per surgeon and anesthesiologist.
I always do that.
Because I was like, I am not taking responsibility for any of this crap fire. Because I do. This new bed,
I always put the surgeon did the positioning.
Well, like our bed, the only thing good about our bed is that you have all these sorts of turns and can do this. So you can kind of angle away from the thing. Well, this one didn't have it. So he was like, I was like, he looks like when the zombies get like, I was like, and I'm not taking on this. And he, like, the surgeon was like, looks good. I like it. Looks good. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, thanks. I think it looks good too. I mean, I would never let somebody be in a position that I didn't think was, but I mean, for what we had to deal with, and like, and on this bed, you can remove like a section that's this big on either side for which side. And this guy was just so large. I was like, he took out, and I was like, I mean, I'm gonna try to catch things, but I don't. It's just like, I'm like, I just feel like it shouldn't be this hard.
No, we have a weight limit, but you also have to have it then move to is it the end of the bed, the foot of the bed,
like
all the way
slid,
to the end? I never
like
remember. Yes.
Yeah.
So that you're counterbalanced right or whatever. But we unlocked it one time and it started tipping and everyone yelled. People jumped on the feet. I was like grabbing it.
So nerve-wracking.
I mean, in hindsight, it probably wasn't as dramatic as it seemed. It probably just,
Well, it's because you're like jumping into action. What if nobody jumped on that bed?
I don't know that it would have gone anywhere, but at the time it seemed traumatizing and I still have nightmares over it.
It's awful. Oh, I had a patient, and this is legitimate. At first I thought she was joking. but she was not. And so I was in PACU doing her block. And before I gave her anything, she was like, are y'all going to have my meat lovers pizza in PACU when I get done?
Big.
And I go, yeah, I'll get me one too, and she was like, I'm serious. And I was like, well, no, you don't get to eat a meat lover's pizza in recovery.
Was this last
She was-
week?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I was there.
Yeah.
I remember it. Yes.
And she was like, I mean, why? And I was like, well, I really don't think that's the first thing you want to eat, and like blah 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 blah. And I was like, your family can order it. And she was like, well, why can't you have it ordered and ready at my room?
Because this isn't
was
Burger
like-
King. We don't do it your way.
Y'all know my facial expressions. I was like,
Skipping one meal ain't gonna hurt you.
yeah, I was like, first of all, I think this is a habit that we need to break. We're going to stop today. But I was like, the audacity. I mean, all I know is I feel like she bought the pizza delivery guy a Christmas present every year. Just
I think they were like that.
I think they were tight. But I'm just like, sometimes like, I just shake our head at our patients. And I'm like, man, y'all are just a different level sometimes.
Well, I just think about how they are just openly in front of us and we're complete strangers to them.
Right?
How do you live your normal life? Like, what?
And
I
that's
don't know.
before we drug them up.
Yeah.
I could maybe understand if we drugged you up. This is sober.
Right.
That's what. Oh, and the older lady. So it was this lady was talking about how she had not had any physical contact in quite a while, in many years, and she decided to go out to a bar one night and get plastered. And she met a guy that he was going to take her to a different state, and her daughter was
Had
like,
concerns.
Mom, you might get gang raped. And she was like, I mean, I haven't had any physical contact in a while. I don't know that I would mind that too much. And we were all like, and she was like, I'm always like, hey, what do your friends call you? Got any nicknames? And she was like, you can call me Dragon. And I looked at her and I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to call you Dragon. Let me get specific. What did your mother call you? That's what I'm going to call you. Because I feel like we've crossed over a line, and
They call me Drax.
I can't call you Dragon.
Maybe she had read our dragon book.
Well, there were other things that I was just like, the rest of the time. And of course, our surgeon loved that.
Mm-hmm. I bet
I was like,
he
you
did.
would love this story. But I was like, I mean, high five. I don't know. Like, what do you? I don't know
What
what
do
to
I
say.
do with
Like, I
this?
agree with your daughter. I mean, do what you will. I don't know. Those were my entertaining stories for the week.
Those are good ones.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I one time, because you do make small talk, like you're trying to, in the 5 minutes you're getting ready to block them or do whatever, get them sleepy. You make small talk. And most of the time you don't remember anything people tell you because it's just, all the same in one out the other. But every once in a while you get a good one. I had one when I was a student who, it was an older lady, very similar. And I said, she was getting, I think, a knee scope done. And we blocked those because, it was an overkill place. And anyway, I said something about, was she had any big plans once she got her knee fixed? And she was like, oh, yeah, my daughter and I are going back dancing. Well, I'm thinking with my Arkansas country self, it's like line dancing or something of that nature. Stupidly, I say, oh, what kind of dancing? And she starts laughing. Now, remind you, she had mentioned her daughter in this, so I'm still thinking innocent. She tells me that she and her daughter go to this club, and I don't remember where it was, but it was not in the area, that has cages that the women can dance in, and they have bubble nights. And sometimes people take off their
Bubble
clothes,
what?
but bubble nights.
Oh, I thought you
Sometimes
said
people
bubble
take
mite.
off.
I was like, what is a mite? What do you
No, nights. Where I think it's
Okay.
like just giant bubbles, and they're up in cages. She and her daughter. She's like 70, so daughter's like
I mean,
probably
that's
50.
a good bonding activity.
And
Working
so
through
she keeps
something.
telling me about
Hooray.
dancing in these cages, and I'm just like, oh, first head for you and for me. Is
For
that
me,
Can we do that?
you're like squirting the ketamine up in the air, and you're just like, make me forget, make me forget.
The CRNA I'm with literally had to leave the bay because he was laughing so hard and couldn't keep it together because neither of us were expecting it.
I mean, you cannot make up some of the stuff that people
Can't make it up.
just. We had, and we always have a lot of food boluses, but this week was just an ungodly amount of food boluses for some reason. I don't know what was happening, but it was absolutely
Season is
ridiculous.
opened. It is spring/summer now.
Well, I mean, no one was chewing. It was like they all got together in a group and was like, let's all swallow pieces of meat whole. But I did have one lady, she was older and she was like, well, I woke up at 4 and I ate a tuna fish sandwich and it got stuck. And I was like, okay, why are we eating tuna fish at 4 in the morning? I said, I'm gonna back that train up. I need you to eat
I have
cereal,
questions.
ice cream. And she
And
goes,
tuna
well,
fish?
I'm trying to watch my figure. And I said, wait, that
Well,
means you
don't
had
eat
to
at 4
make
a.m.
the tuna fish. And she goes, well, yes, I had to make it. And I was like, so you got up at 4 and you made tuna fish and then you ate it and then it got stuck. And she was like, yeah, yep. Sometimes I can't sleep and I wake up and I just really wanted a tuna fish sandwich. I'm like, okay, I am judging you for this. And she started laughing and I was like, I'm not joking. She also made the mistake of telling the anesthesiologist
How does tuna
that day.
fish get stuck?
That
seems very mushy.
Newsflash, it wasn't there.
That makes more sense.
But she had been there all day and had
so we took a
ruined
look.
my day by telling the anesthesiologist I was working with that he looked like he was in a magazine, a firefighter in a magazine, and that basically he was all her dreams were made of with his blue eyes. And I kept yelling her name and I was like, you are ruining my day. If you say that to him, and she goes, oh, I already told him. And I was like, I can't handle him now. I just want you to know. And he walked in and he was like, woo. I was like, oh God. I was like, we'll just call her Tuna. I was like, listen, Tuna, his head couldn't fit through the door in the first place. And now it is impossible. So we were joking about it out in recovery, and I didn't know she was still there. This was a couple hours later. And I said, Dadgummit. And I was just saying her name. I was like, Dadgummit, Tuna. And he was like, she's over. And so I try to cover my tracks. I throw my head in the door and I was like, Tuna, look what you did. And she was like, oh. She was like, look, I got Jello though. And I was like, as long as it's not tuna, I don't care. Anyways, I was like foot in mouth, but I was just like, I've never had somebody wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and eat a tuna fish sandwich.
No.
And it gets stuck.
Well, I guess it didn't get stuck. Was she doing the whole spitting and stuff and everything?
Well, so she was actually a little interesting because I do think it was, but when she was rolling back, she was laughing and flirting with that anesthesiologist. And I was like, before we put her, I was like, she does not act like she got anything stuck. Mm-mm. And so when I went in to intubate her, I RSI'd her and I went in real gentle because she was older and just everything, like anything that you would remotely touch would bleed. Mm. And I was like, well, I actually made a comment. I was like, well, this is
very friable.
Tissue's really, yeah. And so we went down anyways, when we did the EGD, I said, before you go in, I said, it was really like, it was bleeding and just be careful. I was like, her tissue's real friable. And he goes, I wonder if is it Sjogren's syndrome where everything's really dry. And she did have a stricture. He goes, but that all goes together. And he goes, I'm wondering if that's why the tuna fish got stuck. Cause it was so dry. Cause he said, now that you say that, I remember her saying anytime she ate meat, it was hard to swallow because her mouth was so dry. And I was like, that makes more sense of why tuna fish got stuck.
Would get stuck, yeah.
Yeah. And her mouth was super dry. But like our patients, half the time I don't think about it because they're all like, but yeah. Anyway, so there's
usually they act miserable and they have their spit bag. Like it's usually pretty evident.
And she was usually. But sister had her spray tan and her eyelashes and her just.
I can't judge.
I loved her because they were so big. I couldn't figure out. She was real tiny and her boobs were so big. I couldn't figure out a place to put the leads because they were like up her. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
So this wasn't in my room, but I heard about it from my nail lady. Don't take that for what it's worth. I'll tell. But she asked me if I'd heard about the patient waking up asking about her boobies. And I was like, no. First of all, we are 90% ortho only. A little bit of general is scopes. Ain't no boobies action going on. Well, we do a lot of stuff that's like a local MAC style. And so I guess someone had a little bit of sedation, but not a ton of sedation. Again, I was not there. Not a ton of sedation. And I guess heard or remembered hearing throughout the process the surgeon mentioning another surgeon in a neighbor town who is a general surgeon who's going to quit doing that and I don't know who it is. I need to ask. But quit doing that, and is going to do like a quick training in plastics and start doing plastics in this little town. Reminded me of your sister. And and so they were talking about, is there a need for boobies in this town that much to support that? And she woke up and she literally asked the vacuum nurse, she was like, did I get boobies? Did we talk about boobies? That's like all that was stuck in her head.
She's probably excited. She was like, did y'all do it? She's probably so disappointed and sad when she didn't get boobies.
Yeah. Really, she's like, I just remember lots of talking about boobies, and I thought I was getting boobies.
See, y'all need those signs that we have that say the patient can hear you.
Well, so here's the thing. At that facility, almost everyone is asleep. And so it is not common for them to be able to hear you. At this facility, 95% of the patients are awake and can hear you. So
like, you should just assume.
You should assume they can hear you. Yeah.
That is so funny.
That is so funny. So I didn't know who these people were, and I had to look them up, and I still don't really know who they are. But Callie just texted that she was at a restaurant that we go to a lot, and she said, I just figured out why I get special treatment. The waitress finally admitted that they thought that I was Allie and AJ, which is some Disney show, I guess.
Yes. Hold on. I got to look it up because
She said, I looked him up. They think I'm AJ. That's going to be the one. Brad asked
That's
if
what I wanted
autographs.
to see. Allie has curly hair, doesn't she?
I don't know who these people are. She said, Brad asked if I autographed something. Can we get our meal for free?
Definitely AJ.
She's like, why do people think that this happens? Why does this happen to me?
That's amazing.
I mean, it's not a bad thing.
It's just funny. She was like, the girl came up to me and was like, I don't know if you know this or not, but we grew up together.
I mean, that's a deep pull, Allie and AJ.
The show. I literally had to look it up.
That is not who I thought the other one was, though. But
they were on like Disney, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been one of those that I was too old for and my kids are too young for, because I sure didn't know it.
I was trying to find a picture of the show. That's hilarious. I mean, yeah, play it up. Tell her to start singing. Oh, yeah, this is the one that I thought it was.
Callie definitely does some fake autographs. If you see anything at her house that's signed, you should probably guess that it's not real and she signed it.
It's not real.
It's not real. Just to have the whole cast of One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
Like this friend.
Chad Michael Murray.
Whatever. Oh, no, she loved the other one.
That dark-haired one?
Uh-huh. Which looks like Brad.
What was his name? Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. And he just did the underwear shoot, which he did look good, I will say.
Oh, wait, which one? Who you talking about?
Nathan Scott. That's not his name. That was his name on the show. She's going to kill me for not knowing his name.
He did an underwear shoot?
James Lafferty. He did, and it is fine. Hold on. I will find it. Alex, you need to know this celebrity. If you've never watched One Tree, have you watched One Tree Hill? You would love it. It's about basketball.
It's good. It was a good show. And it's like Chad Michael Murray has a shirt off a lot in it.
Sarah, right?
Like, when did all these people, like, I mean, I'm telling you, what the kid, the zoo kid, Aussie. Why am I blanking on his dad's name?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Who am I talking about?
Uh-huh. The dad died. We talked about him a couple weeks ago on the episode.
Yes, and the son, because like that underwear ad popped up on my People thing, like People magazine, and I was like, well, first of all, I feel like a pedophile because he's got to be 12.
No, and then he's not. He's of age. He's with on Dancing with the Stars now.
I mean,
the sister just had a ruptured appendix. Birdie, is that her name?
Yeah, isn't it Birdie? It's something like that. Yeah, because she's married, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, when did that happen? Makes me feel weird when kids are of age and they are handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Feel gross. And then I'm like, oh, they're 23. Yeah. I'm not gross, but am I? I still feel gross. It feels dirty.
Yeah.
Listen, if Aaron dies, I'm going for it.
Well, I'll hook you up with my patient. She can teach you how to be gangbanged.
Yep. Well, I don't know that I want to go that far, but I'm getting a young one, and then I'm going to marry for money.
There you go.
Get you a boyfriend and a husband.
But now listen, if Aaron dies, it is, I had no part of it.
Okay. Yes.
I want that on record.
Okay. The picture that you showed me a second ago you cannot see his face. He looked like he hit puberty. That James Lafferty.
Yeah.
This one.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't see his face when you showed it, and I was like, his
Yeah.
face looks like he hit puberty.
No, he looks
All these
beautiful.
These underwear commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I almost had a heart attack earlier tonight. Me and Devin both did. The oldest is on a cruise, so we knew it wasn't him. But all of a sudden, our garage door opens and somebody walks in, and I mean, anyways, the middle child is learning how to drive, and so he drove here.
Oh.
But anyways, he's so funny because he won't drive on the main roads. It's back roads only. Well, he said, he goes, I took a back road to get here, and I took a wrong turn, so I didn't have to go on a busy road, and I somehow ended up on a dirt road. How did you end up on a dirt?
Yeah, where?
Well, he's been riding with you, Sarah.
Well, if I can find a way to shortcut, you deadgum right, I'll take a dirt road. I'm taking him driving in the country this weekend. We're going to learn the Arkansas way, and then we're going to go on a main road.
I don't think you should teach anyone how to drive.
I mean, that's fair. Let me rephrase. Devin's going to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I also think that he would not allow me to teach him to drive. I think
no.
That's inaccurate.
Yeah, you should not be teaching anyone how to drive.
Yeah. Devin was talking about how it was some police officer saying like, oh, the signs of a drunk driver is like you hug one side of the road because you're trying to follow the line. And I was like, that's not normal. And he was like, or you're riding on the bumps. And I was like, that's not normal.
Have you ever been pulled over for?
No, but it's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, most likely in the mornings when I'm on my way to work and I'm putting on my makeup. Like today, I was literally like, it is so good that nobody else is on the road near me right now. And Devin would murder me if he heard that. But that's why sometimes I get to work and I look like I fell into a paint jar of blush or something. It's dark. I have no idea what it looked like. Doing it just all in the dark. So
maybe we should start pulling Olivia's and roll in with just moisturizers, the facial care stuff, and then mid-morning.
When does she do it?
She does it on her breaks.
Who are we talking about?
You know, Olivia, the CRNA makeup girl.
Oh,
she'll on her breaks.
Looks good.
Film herself throwing on her makeup, and it takes her 2 seconds.
It does. I do need one palette instead of all the things that I have.
Yeah.
So here's my problem with the palettes is I've gotten too old for them, and I need more of a creamy moisture. That's a bad word, but that's why I was struggling to come up with the word. I need more of a liquid. That's the word I'm looking for.
I thought liquid was bad when you were older.
I need a creamy.
It settles in your wrinkles. What about Laura Geller? Have we talked about Laura Geller?
I like it.
Has anybody tried that?
Do
you like it?
I do.
I hear that one is really good for like older skin. Like when you're getting used to wrinkles around your eyes where it settles. Which this and this is where like I'll look and I'll have a line of makeup. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so old.
Well, I don't do a daily foundation. I do like a tinted moisturizer.
That's what I do.
And I think that helps. And then I just do like some contouring and blush. And I think that's
what I'm hoping with my dark spots being gone, I'll just barely have to do any of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal.
Because when I wear a foundation, I do see like anywhere
and I don't
there's
like the way it feels.
A crease.
It's so heavy.
Heavy.
Like I just all day all I want to do is wash my face.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Like that's what when I go on a date night, I'm just like, I want to get home and wash my face off.
Yeah. I do like the sticks, the OG or whatever that you've seen. I like those a lot. They're super easy. And of course I love Tarte. I think anything Tarte makes is amazing.
Yeah, they do make good makeup.
The Makeup Forever brand. Do you ever use that?
Where is that from Ulta too? Is that?
I think it's Sephora only. And maybe we'll just start selling it, but for a while it was Sephora only. But they have the sticks too. And then I just use the one brush to blend.
Same.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a little easier.
Yeah,
a little more forgiving.
Guide me. I don't know. I put just a little bit of black eyeliner, like in my waterline, on Monday when we went on our date for our anniversary, and Emily was like, "What is under your eyes?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "The black stuff." And I was like, "I was just trying to look pretty for Daddy." And she was like, "Take it off. I just want you to look like my mommy again." And I was like, "Okay."
Dramatic. I mean, she gets that from you, but...
And then I had like a dress on. It had just a little cutout right here and right here. And she was like, "Your skin is showing." And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I see your mole on your back." And I was like, "You were supposed to be my hype girl. I need you to go. You are not making me feel pretty." And she was like, "I just want you to look like my mommy." It's like,
In
and I want you
sweats.
to go in there and color. Yeah. She's like, wear your leggings. What's all this?
Yeah.
Like she acted like I got it and just like drew, like it was
I
literally
know.
just in my waterline, just a little bit. And I was like, I was trying to look seductive. Okay.
Excuse
My
me.
goodness. I know.
Oh, they
Don't
keep it
get
real
over it.
though.
Yeah.
I do. A girl keeps it honest.
Sometimes I'll try stuff and Savvy will be like, no. That's all she
I'm gonna be
tells me.
honest.
No, Mom.
I will
No.
take advice from Savvy.
Well, she'll
There's
give
no
it whether
question.
you ask for it or not.
I know. And I'll be like, you're right. I'm gonna turn around. I agree. Whatever she says.
She went on a field trip today. First of all, last night, she brings me a hat with all these patches and she's like, put these on here. And I was like, what for? She's like, I'm wearing it tomorrow to the field trip. And I was like, baby, you're not really supposed to wear hats to school. They certainly don't want you keeping up with it on a field trip. She's like, well, I'm wearing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to let the teacher battle this. I don't actually care. You can take it to school. We'll see what
Tag
happens.
you're it.
Well, they must not have wanted to fight the battle either. Because in every picture, she's got that damn hat on.
They're like, you know
I will
what?
say, she told me where to put the patches and it turned out pretty darn cute.
Really cute.
I'm telling you, she's got this like internal fashion sense. That
Yeah.
one.
She's
I
so
saw
headstrong.
something today that said it was like 5 things you can never do if you're elegant, or if you want to be an elegant woman. And I was out on the first one. It was like wear your gym clothes other places. And I was like,
Oh.
what if that's
I don't even go to
all
the
you
gym
do?
and I have on gym clothes.
Yeah.
What does that say?
It's like oversized t-shirts, jeans with holes. What else was it? And I was just like, I'm really out.
So far, I'm 5 for 5.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not
I mean,
elegant.
I guess I knew I wasn't elegant, but sometimes I try to pretend. We'll just go ahead and end that now. But
Well, do we have a word of the week?
what have we been talking about that we could tie it in?
A hodgepodge of things.
Yeah.
So many things. I was thinking dragon.
Oh, I like dragon. Yes.
Dragon it is.
Yeah.
I like
I like dragon. I've already got a couple of ways to use it.
I like it. And nail check.
Oh.
Mine are just red. Sarah, I'm so proud of you.
I know.
Alex.
I'm to that point where I'm a little addicted to it again. But look how long they are, because she would cut them.
Oh,
Is that from?
Yeah, when you got that one.
Are those dips or are they like UV light kind? Those are harder to cut, but I'll still do it. If they won't cut them how I like them before I go in, I cut them.
Have to do it. I can't. Yeah. I'm almost to the point where I can't function. And Devin's like, you're like tapping, and I can't handle it. And I did do an epidural the other day, and I was like, oh my god, I think my nails down. It messes
with my grip. I know.
Yes, I can't. I didn't like it. I was like, that's the only time I truly hate it is when I'm doing an epidural for some reason. I feel like they're all in the way. But I don't know how people work with them.
I don't either.
I've got one friend that has like the talons, and I'm like, how do you wipe your ass?
That is, I want to know. How? Inquiring minds. There's something under that nail.
I really did ask her one day over at Margarita, and she was like, you find ways. I still need more. She's like, you know.
No. What do you wrap your fingernail in it? And you're just like, I today. Like
I was a bidet. I don't know.
Oh, that's a possibility, I think. I was like getting alcohol swabs all day, and I was like literally cleaning out my nails like in between places. Like I was like, you know, these are filthy. They're so gross.
If I see any like little thing under them, I'm like, oh.
I can't.
Yeah, they do.
And that's what, you know, which I haven't had as much problem because I haven't been able to scratch my face, especially when I had those things. Like, if you saw me, I was just like, because they were itching so bad. And she was like, don't scratch your face. So I was like, usually if you scratch, you got like a little makeup. It looks like you're dirty. Like, you got,
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's the only thing I hate about wearing a mask and I wear makeup and you take it off and it looks like you rolled in the dirt.
Your whole face.
I'm just like, I'm just going to throw that one.
I didn't think I wore that much makeup.
I know. I was like,
sometimes I look and I'm like, God.
I just want to hold up a sign. It's tinted moisturizer.
I know, right? It took me less than 5 minutes. It can't be that much.
I did this in the dark, which y'all can probably
That may be the problem.
They're like, there's no telling how much tinted moisturizer you put on your face.
It took longer to rub than this stuff.
It just was so moist. But okay,
you hoes need to go to bed.
I'll go to work tomorrow and try to dig up more stories.
I'm finally not working tomorrow. Thank Jesus. I'm done.
Okay, well, just text me pictures of your margarita.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh.
All right. Jesus wants y'all to be quiet. Bye, y'all.
Be quiet. Next episode.
Bye.